Okay, today I'm talking about managing self-directed learning in primary school education. This book is by Van Deur. It's a book I picked up when I was researching for the book that I published, Creating a Self-Directed Learning Environment. This book is essentially all about research. It's all of the research and background for why the concept of self-directed learning is valid. So it's really cool insights into different research, and I've since posted 2 or 3 things that I want to highlight here. Where just in the first couple of pages, they mention something called self-regulated learning teacher belief scale. And in 2009, this group of researchers developed a self-regulated learning teacher belief scale to collect teachers' beliefs about self-regulated learning. And in 2013, what Zimmerman outlines in his triadic social cognitive model of self-regulated learning, what they find is essentially, I'm reading, but they find that students that are explicitly taught how to self-reflect on how they're learning did better academically than students that were not. Now, it may seem kind of obvious, but a lot of schools today are not providing students with explicit guidance on how to self-reflect, not just on what they're learning, but how they are learning. That takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and especially for middle and high school teachers with 100 students coming in and out every day, if you're trying to help students become self-directed learners in high school, they've had, kindergarten, they're 5, high school, they're 15. They've had up to 10 years of traditional schooling without that self-reflective nature, and now they're trying to get into colleges and universities. They're probably not going to be as open to new policies and new practices on how to learn. They want to keep going the way they're going, So you really got to make sure that you start when they're younger to make sure that they don't have any of that baggage of more traditional carrot and stick, do what I tell you, learn only what I tell you to learn type of mentality. So that's one thing. The second chapter is something I tagged again, and I'm just going to read the abstract here. Chapter 2 discusses research literature on adult self-directed learning, which is used to construct a framework of the processes of self-directed learning from which a questionnaire and interview questions were developed. The findings are reported from a pilot study used to trial the use of questions designed to seek perspectives of primary students' self-directed learning from school staff, parents, and students. And next, there's a description of the process of using revised questions to collect views about self-directed learning from a larger group of school staff, parents, and students. And then following this, there's a summary of the findings from interviews carried out with randomly selected primary students, primary being elementary, gifted students, and students with learning difficulties. These views describing variables comprising self-directed learning in primary students are combined with the research literature to construct a model of effective self-directed learning in primary students. The whole chapter it just highlights all of these statements. I mean, this is just a list of all the statements as part of that research survey, and the model for effective use of self-directed learning, developing things like self-efficacy, collaboration, self-regulation. All of these ideas, it's just a couple of pages long is that chapter, but this book has been a really good reference for me in developing and creating a self-directed learning environment in a public school setting. So definitely a good reference for anyone interested in the research behind self-directed learning. And that is this book right here. Okay.